Good morning and welcome to Between the Beats. You have heard of the human midlife crisis, but what about our pets? Dr. Kelly Fishman, a leading veterinary sports medicine and rehab expert, has helped numerous dogs and cats recover from surgery and thrive well into their senior years. And she's on the phone now to help us better understand the signs and solutions for our pets' quote midlife crisis. Good morning, Dr. Kelly. How are you?
Good morning.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from outside Philadelphia,
Okay.
in a little area called Kennett Square.
Okay. My cousin lives in up that way, so it's probably not as hot there, hopefully, as it is here.
No, definitely not, but certainly humid.
Oh, yeah. So tell us about a midlife crisis in dogs or cats. What's the age and what's worth investigating?
So, midlife crisis, basically when your dog or cat hits the human age equivalent of 50 and things start to break down. They start to get gray hair, they start to lose their hearing, their sight diminishes, they start to gain weight, they lose muscle and strength, all the stuff that happens to us at about 50 years old. So in our doggies who are large breeds, so Labradors, Great Danes, anybody over 50 pounds, they're midlife at 7. And I know, pretty early.
Yeah.
And then our small breed dogs, like our French Bulldogs, Cocker Spaniels, Chihuahuas, the dogs that are, aging a little bit slower, they're hitting midlife around 10, which is the same age that a kitty hits midlife. It's around 10 years old.
Okay, well, that's young. So it looks like you just described everything. So should they do what we do, like vitamins or definitely exercise, right?
Definitely exercise. So one of the misconceptions is that if you have an aging animal, that you should slow them, they kind of slow down, and you're just going to kind of accept that because, hey, my dog, he's an 8-year-old lab, he's getting a little bit older, he's midlife, and you just want to be a couch potato now, and that's okay. It's actually the wrong thing to do. We know from a couple different perspectives that slowing down, if it's another sign of something underlying, like an underlying medical condition, and they're healthy otherwise, like keep them moving. Like exercise is good for their brain as they age. It maintains strength because, like I said, they lose muscle, so you need that exercise to maintain strength. It's really good for dogs with anxiety disorders, and then also dogs that have a little bit of arthritis, which most of our midlife dogs and cats do. If you stop moving them, it's almost like a vicious cycle of getting more painful and more weak, so you have to keep moving them. So certainly exercise, keep them moving. And the other thing is I like to do what I call a smart supplement, meaning that instead of just giving a random joint supplement, you don't know if it works, is it worth your money, what is it even doing, find things that have evidence behind them, meaning that the company is taking the time to prove that it works in a dog or a cat. So, for example, things that we have evidence for would be something like an omega-3 fatty acid or a fish oil or green lipped mussel. So we have a lot of evidence that, that type of supplement works wonders for the joints, and it's anti-inflammatory, and it's really great. The other thing I like to do is I suggest getting a muscle supplement because no one thinks to supplement muscle. No one thinks that you have to feed the muscles and maintain strength and that sort of thing as they're aging. So there is something called fortitropin. It is a scientifically proven ingredient in something called MYOS PET, which has been proven to build muscle in dogs and cats and in horses. So it actually works incredibly well, this MYOS PET, to build muscle. So do that. Support the muscle, support the joints. And if you want to add like a third thing, like a probiotic, that's a dog or cat specific one, that's also a great idea because their gut is slowing down and changing as well. So smart supplements for all those three things.
Okay. Well, where do we get those type of things? I don't know if we'd just go to Amazon, right?
You can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. So MYOS PET is definitely on Amazon. My website, which is Strut, STRUT, animal.com, I have links to all my favorite supplements.
Good. Okay.
So you could please visit there. There may be a little bit of a % off coupon. I don't know. Maybe not. But please visit there because you can see my top joint supplement, my top exercise gear. But in terms of the MYOS PET, you can find it on my website or on, Amazon as well. And then omega-3 fatty acids. There's so many good fish oils out there. Just ask your vet for one of their favorite ones.
Okay. All right. Now, how do you get a cat to exercise? What are your recommendations there?
I know you're a cat lady like me.
Yeah.
So it's hard because cats naturally, what they do is they're kind of prey predators, and they kind of go out, they have a behavior that's play, which is mimicking that. So they like to hunt things. So what I like to do is just get a good old cat toy and just do little bursts of play with them, and they kind of will speed around for a little bit, and they catch their little prey, and then they kind of take a nap for 5 hours. So
yeah.
Certainly doing that is what we do. Now, I deal with dogs mostly in my professional life, and dogs are very easy. I teach dogs to do dog push-ups, dog crunches, dog squats. I have people swim with their dog and paddleboard with their dog and do obstacle courses, a million and one fun things that dogs will do. And like I said, as a cat owner, my cat would just, look at me like I'm crazy. But
yeah.
Like I said, doing stuff like that.
We save that long brown paper that comes in packages because most of our cats love it if you play with a stick and the paper. They will play with paper.
I know.
So
and Amazon package bags and plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
They're funny little creatures.
Now, I want to ask you, in your physical therapy life of pets, do they ever resist their workouts?
Yes.
And how do you get it? How do you get them to do it?
Motivation. So I have 3 motivating factors I do. I do a treat or a cookie. So food. And if your dog isn't as food motivated, I say bring their breakfast and make them hungry. So when I start to work with them and I ask them to do certain exercises or to do certain movements, I could use that food as a lure. The other thing is some dogs aren't so food motivated, but they're praise motivated. So I give what I call, which is a love treat. So I tell the pet parent, as soon as they walk through these or do these jumps or walk through these poles, building body awareness, building strength, let's give them everybody gets super, super excited, give them lots of praise and attention, tell them they're the best dog ever, and we could do that love treat. And the third thing is sometimes actually using their favorite person as a treat. So just getting that interaction. So, for example, if I'm trying to get a dog to go through a tunnel and they haven't gone through a tunnel before and they have to go through it because we're trying to build movement and flexibility in their shoulders, but they're scared. So what I'll do is I'll put the person, their loved one, at the very end of the tunnel, and that'll be their motivation, just getting to their human.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I think I've had good luck with cats in those tunnels also. So
yeah.
That's a good one. So how do we tell the difference between aging and something more serious like pain or a chronic condition?
Yeah, and that's hard because, again, what is normal with aging? Some of the stuff that we've already talked about, and I made a big deal about muscle because when you lose muscle, you lose strength, which means you lose the stamina to go on long walks or hikes, the strength to go upstairs or jump in and out of the car. So certainly some of that stuff associated with those signs, I should say, associated with aging is normal. But then what's abnormal? Okay, things that I say, like what red flags to me, are lameness or limping that kind of comes up and then it goes away and then it comes up and it goes away. That's not normal. That's probably an underlying sign of some arthritis or something like that. The other big thing that sometimes pet parents associate with aging, which is not a normal sign, is slipping and sliding or knuckling the back legs. So if you ever see anything like that, please visit your vet because it could be something, it could be a neurologic condition that you want to get checked out.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to switch to you yourself for a minute. What inspired you to focus on mobility and rehab in animals? That's kind of unusual, I think.
It's really unusual, and it's one of the newest fields of veterinary medicine. So what happened was when I started to become a vet, I found out that the majority of older dogs, and especially older dogs, are euthanized, and parents have to say goodbye to them. Cancer is a big one, but the other top one that's neck and neck with cancer is that they have what's called frailty. So they don't have the strength or weakness. They have weakness, and they don't have the strength to move around anymore. So I found out that was a reason people had to say goodbye, and that also there's this area of veterinary medicine that can keep dogs stronger and pain-free for longer, and I can kind of provide that. I had to help.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. I don't know if you know this, but this month is Clear the Shelters. I think it's a nationwide event, try to get some of the pets out of the shelters. Do you have any tips? Because I think I would like to, the kittens are cute, the puppies are cute, but what about the older ones? Do you have any tips for maybe if you wanted to go to the shelter and adopt an older one? Super random there.
Yeah, no, I think it's just when I have pet parents who specifically seek out older animals, and sometimes these are actually older people who they can't have a puppy anymore because that's too much energy, too much work, or they know that their lives are they're seniors too, so they want to pick a senior animal. It really touches my heart because I know that those people are potentially taking on a dog that has a behavior issue that may not be totally apparent at first, or an underlying medical issue that they try to get insurance for, and the insurance company says, hi, that's a 7-year-old French bulldog. Your insurance per month is so astronomically high, it's not even worth it. So, it is something that pet parents should understand, that sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. But, which is something that could be a little bit harder to manage. But the good thing is that these animals tend to be the most loving. If an animal has gone to the point where they've had a home, had to be in a shelter and go through that, typically when they find their second family, they're so appreciative and so happy to be there, that they are just the most loving animals.
Oh, I agree. And I see those stories on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, So
yeah.
If someone only does one thing today to help their aging pet live a longer, happier life, do you have a one, I know it's not a one and done, but is there something we could start doing right now?
Yeah, I think that I'm just going to bring it back to the MYOS PET. Start something, that will help build their strength and build their muscle. You should never, start too late. Prevention is really key. And if I had a dog that was not even midlife, if I have a younger dog, I would start it now.
Okay.
Don't forget about muscle, keep up strength. It's something that has evidence, and, it's a no-brainer for dogs and for cats.
Yeah. Well, tell us how to get a hold of you and where we can connect with you, please.
Yes, please. So please visit my website, Strut Animal. So I always say a happy dog or a cat struts. So remember, that's Strut Animal.
Okay.
I have a Facebook. I have an Instagram. On my website, I have a blog and a couple, like I said, recommendations for my top dog exercise gear and supplements. And I'm always happy to answer people's questions if you message me on social or through my website.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it. And I know the pet lovers out there are listening, and they're probably going to visit your website because we usually have a good turnout for these things once you talk about your product. So I appreciate all this.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.